So, like I said before in the last video, the new warrant's behavior was really pissing off a lot of people. And some people decided then to take matters in their own hands. Now, I didn't know this existed, but basically there's a hotline you can call in the army to report abuse. And so quite a few people decided to call it. Now, I don't know if this happened. It was told to me. But the evidence seemed pretty overwhelming because after it was told to me that it happened, the new warrant's behavior changed drastically. I mean, he would at first seem very dejected. I mean, he would still stand straight and walk out. But if he didn't have to leave his office, he wouldn't. On top of it, when he came out, he just would try to avoid talking to anyone. So that went on. And then one day, he decided to stand in parade. Right? He just stand there in front of us. And of course, we see him there and we think we have to do the whole parade shit again, right? Like all the stuff like that. Well, we're doing it and then he just goes, stop. Okay, I'm telling you, today our storage, today we got 3 pallets, we go in, we finish, and then we come out and we rest. Let's go. And then he does that because we don't know, does that mean we do the fallout parade? Because remember, he used to be very strict. So half step forward, half don't know what to do. And then he just turns around, he goes, let's go. Then after all the parade, people just fall out. Except those are the story people. The rest of us are just standing there like, what do we do? Then the other 2 warrants there's Warren George and Crumjit just like fall out. Then people just fall out. But that was the turning point. It was after that this officer, this new warrant, became one of the most popular people in the camp. In fact, I would argue the most popular officer. Because the first thing, as you just heard, he doesn't just open his mouth and tell you to do work. When he said do 3 pallets, he himself also go in and do the 3 pallets, take off the shirt, sweat with you and all that. It is truly a thing where people felt fair is fair. He also suffered with us. Now, you have to compare this with another person in the camp, which is this second lieutenant. Now, I must say first, the second lieutenant was a nice guy. But he had quite a few habits that sometimes seemed conveniently selfish. For example, like the same situation, right? He'd be like, hey, you all need to do the 3 pallets, help lah. You all need to finish by today, Then he would somehow have to go HQ. Right? Again, I don't know if he really needed to go. But again, sometimes it seems convenient. On top of which, he had these 3 people which he truly favored. Alright? And those 3 people often could get away with quite a bit of stuff. For example, they were getting off like nobody's business compared to the rest of us. Like the rest of us, we had to do something to gain off, right? For them, like especially the one who drives him around in his car, he could literally pop his head in. He's a storage person, by the way. He could pop his head in and just say, I take the off book, and then go to the second lieutenant, get it off. So all of us knew this favoritism was happening. In fact, one of them was even my senior, who's a clerk. So the new warrant would stand in front of the parade of everybody. Now remember, when it comes to rank, the second lieutenant has a higher rank than the warrant officer. But in terms of respect and clout, the new warrant had way more respect. And so he could easily call out this second lieutenant. So one day he did. He's like, hey, the 2 of you, today there's a lot of work, You cannot go and help this second lieutenant, and then run away. Today you will work with us, Then the second lieutenant, hey, don't like that, I never do this, but I help lah. Then he's like, no, they will then disappear, And so here's the thing. Everybody knew this favoritism was happening. And finally someone's calling it out and stopping it. So this new warrant gained even more respect out of us. Now, I have a lot of stories to tell for this new warrant. And also I want to share my stories with him. So I'm going to tell that next time. So if you want to hear about that, come back next time. Till next week.